Skin Tone Part 2 because I was so interrupted by my rude mom about knocking on the door in the middle of praising a friend of mine. As I was saying, thank you, Courtney, not everybody is as brazenly bold as Courtney Monroe or totally accepting of the skin they're in. And when he and I had that talk after filming about the I got you now, you black bitch line, it's like, yeah, he's totally okay with it. I still not okay with it, but I kept it in because he wanted to keep it in. And I'm not into like anti-racial movies. I like people of all races, and I would love to have a movie where everyone can be represented in a film. And then on one of the racist videos, I was watching this young man who's a lot darker than me, and he said, people his color wound up playing the bad guys in Tyler Perry movies and stuff like that. And I'm like, okay. And the video is made like in 2017 or 2016, so it's fairly old, which means he's probably watching Black Lightning now because Chris Williams is darker than me and he's playing Hero. So I guess skin tone also helps because it makes sure that people obviously know that a black man is a black man and not a mixed black man. You know, when I'm like, well, here's the thing. Technically, everyone in America is kind of mixed due into the raping of America. If you have Native American in you and you're probably mostly white, it's due to somebody was in your family either assimilated a Native American squaw into your family through ways of rape, or if you're Native American and you have white in you, one of your ancestors might have been raped by a white settler, and back then they didn't have abortions, so they kept the baby. So if you're Native American and you have like blue eyes or some shit like that, or some green eyes, there may be some white in you somewhere because most Asian people don't have green or blue eyes. If they do, it's a genetic deformity. I'm not saying it's a bad thing to be Asian and blue eyes, or if you were Chinese and you had green eyes, you were revered as kissed by the dragon or kissed by the gods or whatever the hell it is. Only Chinese people know what the fuck I'm talking about or what I'm trying to say. I wouldn't say how far that legend extends into Asia, but I know from my studying of martial arts, of learning martial art legends, that if you were an Asian girl with the color of jade eyes, you were kissed by the jaded dragon or kissed by the jaded guy. I don't know exactly how the fucking saying goes, okay? I'm not Chinese, but I have heard the legend. And it's just like with Native American folklore. Being partially Native American, it's my job to understand some of my culture and their folklore, which is why when I wrote my graphic novel, which I'm still looking for a publisher, by the way, of Love 13, and I use Native American folklore more than anything else because it's all I know. I use Japanese folklore, I use Chinese folklore, I use Native American folklore, I use Greek mythology and Egyptian mythology, although you rarely hear from Isis and Ra, you do hear a lot from the Native American ones because they're the ones that I was taught, that I know the most of, and I just put a little twist to it, you know. But my twist is a logical twist because how else can a Thunderbird exist unless he can shapeshift? And the same thing with Coyote. So they both probably come from the same shape-shifting clan, but the Thunderbird and the Coyote and the Deer Woman are mostly West Coast to mid coast Indians, where the Yeti is everywhere and the polar bear god is Eskimoan. Right? So depending on your region and your Native American heritage or whatever the hell you know, you'll know the legends. I also used the Chinese things. I used the Wolf Mountains and didn't even know that they existed. And then I googled it and like, whoa, this place is actually a real place. So it's an autobiographical fantasy that's based in reality. Except for I'm not a good singer. In that world, I'm a great singer, and YouTube has made me famous. Well, in this world, I'm an actor, a horrible singer, and YouTube has basically done nothing for me but a place to vent my frustrations, as I'm doing right now. And acknowledging people and giving them knowledge that they probably won't obtain on a daily basis, except for the 35 followers that I have. Thank you guys very much. So, I was talking to Courtney about it, before, like, years before I decided to make this, about black people and our skin tone. And then, like I said, after watching these videos, I thought I'd make a video about it because skin tone apparently is not just a black issue, It is also an Asian issue, and it may be a white issue, but I'm not really gonna swear to it because I don't know anybody Italian outside of the principal that didn't expel me for punching a girl in the face back in grade school when she called me a nigger. Right? Other than that, I mean, he was Italian, but I mean, I don't know too many Italians, and personally, I don't know them like I know my mom, you know. But the thing with skin tone, apparently, it has no boundaries or no ethnic barriers because apparently Asians and other people of color have a skin tone issue. The lighter your skin tone is supposed to mean you're like more of the primary meat or the A stock of society, which puts me in a bind because most people have no idea what the hell my ethnic background is. And I've spent more time trying to prove to people that I'm actually a black man. Although legally and by birth certificate it says that I'm a black man, biologically and genetically I am of multiculturalness, which I explain to y'all in almost every video that I am part Cherokee, I am part black, and I am part white. Now, by looking at me, you probably don't see any white in me at all. And people, most of the time, when they first meet me, they always come up to me with the same thing, and I'm okay with it. So if you're out there and you're watching, I'm okay with telling you what the hell I am. Because most people come to me like, look, I don't want to offend you, but what's your ethnic background? And I'm like, oh, well, I'm mixed. He's like, well, yeah, but what are you genetically? And I'm like, okay, well, I'm not Mexican, but I am Cherokee, black, and white. And they're like, oh, I thought you were from the Philippines. Or I thought you were Polynesian. Or maybe Samoan. As much of an honor as that would be, they probably wouldn't want me in their tribe anyway. But, you know, because I'm an ass, but I'm everybody's kind of ass. I keep that shit real. But, you know, there's no harm in asking someone if you're not sure what they are. I mean, but I would advise you to do it the way people approach me. If I may be so bold, can I please ask you, what is your ethnicity? Now, I'm going to tell you this, and I don't know how to do this. I'm still figuring out Asian ethnicities, like, in abundance. And I say that because, you know, um, a lot of Asians that are tan are Americanized and use tanning beds. And a lot of them that are not, that are naturally tan, are either Hawaiian or Samoan or Filipino. Those three are darker than people who would be Chinese, Korean, or Japanese, who would tend to be a little bit more lighter, closer to the pale side than the darker Asians, right? So if you're not sure, it won't hurt you to ask them. It's like, look, I don't want to offend you, but of which Asian ethnicity is your heritage? Because I can't honestly tell if someone's Chinese or Japanese or Korean without hearing their last names. There's a slight problem with that. See, Japanese last names aren't really interchangeable, but Koreans and Chinese last names, and even some Vietnamese last names, are interchangeable, right? Because Choi walks that thin line, and also I think it depends on how you spell it. I think if you spell it Choi, it's more Korean Vietnamese type. Where if you spell it Choy, it's more Chinese. I could be wrong on that. Somebody Asian correct me. Um, then there's Lee. Lee can be Korean and Chinese. I don't know about Vietnamese, but I know it can be Chinese and I know it can be Vietnamese. And it also is spelled in at least three ways. Because you have Lee, Lee, the way Bruce Lee spells it. You have Lee, Li, the way Jet Li spells it. And you have Lee, Le, which is not with two E's but one E. And I think there might be another one, but I think it's closer to Bruce Lie, which would be Ly or Li. I guess it depends on if it's Pinyin or Mandarin or whatever, because you know Chinese have like 10,000 different dialects or some shit like that. I learned that in my Chinese film and fiction class that they have over 10,000 dialects. So depending on your region, you know, and depending on how traditional your family is, would depend on what your last name would be before World War II and the Japanese occupation of China. That's your history lesson for today. World War II, Japanese occupation of China. Do not ask me how a country smaller than a country that's bigger can actually occupy it, but shit happens. Now, the same thing like if you're from Tibet and if you're from Thailand or Taiwan, they still technically consider you Chinese. Because Thailand, China is Thailand. Taiwan is technically a part of China as well. So if you're from Taiwan, you're still Chinese. Don't ask. I have no idea how to get that shit fact checked. It was just told to me by somebody, and I'm like, I'm just gonna go with that. I'm not even gonna try to fact check that shit because that's just like way too much fucking work. Sorry, I'm not lazy, but I don't believe in overextending myself, especially since I'm probably gonna lose if that's a bet. And the reason I say that is because my Korean friend, shout out to Inkwon Kim, when we first met way back in the 90s, I don't know what he's doing now, I hope he's doing well. When we first met in the 90s, he's the one that told me that Native Americans were Asian. And I fought him tooth and nail to the bitter end on that. And I was like, no, we're from Atlantis, man. We're special. We're magical. We can talk to animals. We can change into animals. We can do all kinds of other shit. And then I found out we're just the migrating people who came out of Asia through like $7. We went and got every encyclopedia, Native American history book, damn dictionary, and my world was rocked. Like my world was literally rocked, and the closest Asian tribe to anything remotely Native American are in Mongolia and the Amazon. So I'm like, wow, this just is wrong. Because you learn things in history, and as you get older, you tend to progressively forget. Well, apparently, I progressively forgot about that thing called the Bering Straits and that little frozen island where they literally walked from Siberia to Alaska and just kept moving. And then the Great Splinter, the people who stayed in that region and went to Iceland and Greenland and all that were Eskimos, while everyone else became the regular Native Americans, which would include the First Nations in Canada and then all the tribes down from North America all the way down to South America. So for those who don't know, if you're Mexican, you're actually a Native American. If you're anywhere from the tip of Panama all the way to the tip of Chile or the bottom of Chile or the bottom of South America, your ass is an indigenous Native American, and guess what? Your ass is also Asian. Now, everyone's like, they all speak Spanish. Okay, so let me drop that in while we're on skin tones. The reason why they speak Spanish is because just like the Europeans that conquered all of the tribes up top, the Spaniards conquered most of the tribes down the bottom. I guess they not venture too deep into the Amazon since that language is still alive and those tribal people still fuck your shit up and they take oil off a monkey's butt or a frog's butt and poison the shit out of your ass if you fuck with them. So, that being said, welcome to the history class. Anyway, after learning that, it kind of fucked me up because it's like, okay, that answered a lot of questions about my grandma Ada and my grandma Bay and why their eyes are slightly smaller than mine and more slanted. My eyes only slant when I smile. But I still get mixed up between being a Mexican and a Polynesian. Now, what people don't understand is, again, Mexicans are Native Americans. It took me a hot minute to learn that too. And then the same thing with Polynesians. Polynesians are actually Asians, and Native Americans, no matter what tribe you're from, you originated over in fucking Asia. Alright? So that being said, that being proven, that being cool, we're done. Now, we're going to end this with the skin tones of Asians and blacks. Because a lot of people who are black, who are African, are also born with slanted eyes. It's like slanted eye dysplasia. There's a disease for it, but it's not like a disease that can kill you. But some people are born with it, and some people are not. And they don't have a bit of Asian blood in them, but they just look Asian. Okay, that's fine by me. I don't ask too many questions. I don't want to get into the scientific dichotomy of that shit because I'm not scientifically smart. But I'm smart enough to know that things are the way they are because they are the way they are, and we need to leave them at that. So, on the skin tones, since it's also an Asian issue, I guess, depending on where your Asian culture lies, your skin tone resides. Like I said, from what I learned in the video, a lot of Koreans are pale, which is funny because my ex-fiance was Korean and she was not pale. But I seen pictures of her when she was younger. She was a lot lighter than she was when we got together. And so I don't know if that was the results of tanning bed or cultural mythology or the fact that they brought her to America and she was raised in like Albemarle County or whatever. So that being said, the two-tone, so you have me exceptionally light, and then you have me exceptionally dark down here from wearing short sleeve shirts. It's baked in the sun, if you would. Skin tone tends to be a status issue. And a lot of reasons why a lot of people of color have issues with people who are lighter. It's not so much as jealousy, it's so much as a fact that people think that people who are lighter skin toned believe that they're entitled to something. I've never thought I've been entitled to anything. In fact, I will be the first to say, if anything, I tried to hide the fact that we have any white in us at all, except when we go out in public and I'm with my mom, because there's no way you can hide that big white woman. I'm James Williams Jr. I want you guys to do one thing for me when you're done watching this. Before you think about a person's skin tone, think about how that person feels. Think about how they have had to go through their journey. So when you see someone who's light or someone who's dark, before you go around thinking about insulting them, think about how many insults they've already had before you decide to add one more to the fact. Let's try to be nice to each other. And let's try not to judge people on skin tone. And maybe we can cast some more darker skin tone people as heroes and more light skin tones as villains. I'll play a bad guy. I need a job. I'll play the bad guy. But as long as I get to be brutal, like honestly brutal. I'm James Williams, come for having number 2. Skin tone number 2 video. I'm out. Oh. Okay, now I'm out.